Welcome to Creepypasta Theater, a show where we explore the strange world of creepypasta. Join us as we hear tales best left untold, travel roads best left unexplored, and see sights best left unseen. Today's story, The Passenger. Written by Wil Grisack. Guest narration by Rissa Montanez. This story is property of the author and is being used with permission. Rain tapped a steady, erratic rhythm against the windshield of Aaron's battered, silver sedan as he idled in the gas station parking lot. He was a relic of the baby boomer generation, with a face weathered like an old leather jacket and a wild, graying beard collecting breadcrumbs from his habitual snacking. At the cusp of his 60s, Aaron had seen better days, but driving gave him a sense of purpose, a way to earn while meandering through the streets he'd known all his life. As he munched on a handful of pretzels, the monotonous drone of a pop song on the radio gave way to commercials, prompting him to grumble and scan through the stations. He settled on a local talk show he enjoyed, just as the hosts delved into a recent tragedy. Unfortunately, the 17-year-old, Maximilian Hammond, did not survive the accident. Currently, the police are looking into it, but what's really concerning is there was no clear indication of what struck him or what he struck. "Sounds like a hit and run," chimed in another voice. Aaron snorted, his voice gruff with disdain as he talked to no one in particular. "Probably a drunk driver." "Well, that's the thing," the host continued. "The only wreckage came from the kid's car. There wasn't any debris that didn't belong to his car. And from what we do know, he must have been driving at least 80 miles an hour and slammed into something head-on while going over the bridge at Talon's Crossing." Just then, Aaron's phone chimed, pulling him from the somber discussion. A new ride request flashed on the screen. Pick up in the downtown area. Someone named Emma B. He brushed the pretzel crumbs from his shirt and beard, letting them fall in to join the other remnants of his snack on the car floor. With a sigh, he accepted the request, shifted into gear, and pulled out of the parking lot, ready to navigate the rain-slick streets and collect his next passenger. After a short drive through the damp, gloomy streets, Aaron arrived in a part of town he rarely visited. Those wild nights were long behind him, replaced by lingering regrets about not pursuing a master's degree. Outside a club, the thumping bass of electric dance music vibrated faintly, and strobe lights flickered through the gaps in the door. A burly bouncer under an awning checked IDs, shooing away a group of overeager teenagers. "Serves 'em right," Aaron mumbled to himself as he scanned the crowd for Emma, whose app profile showed a bright-eyed brunette. He spotted a hooded figure making their way through the rain towards his car, stopping briefly at the rear to check the license plate. "Smart," he noted, appreciating the caution in an era where people were too often trusted without thought. The car door opened with a heavy thud, and the figure clambered inside. Aaron glanced over his shoulder. "You, Emma?" The figure settled in, pulling out a phone before nodding slightly.
"Yeah, I'm Emma,"
came the subdued reply after a pause that lingered a bit too long for Aaron's comfort. The girl was draped in baggy clothes that swallowed her frame, a black hoodie and cargo pants with frayed knees. Her hood was up, and an N95 mask covered her face, a holdover from the pandemic days. Stray strands of hair, black with purple tips, peeked out from under her hood. Her silhouette flickered in the back seat, illuminated intermittently by the glow of her phone screen as she swiped through it. Aaron shook his head slightly, nostalgic for a time when interactions weren't mediated through screens. With the world at their fingertips, it seemed to him that the younger generation had lost the art of conversation, preferring the company of their digital devices. Aaron watched as his phone's navigation app lit up, directing him to take Emma toward the Iron Mill district. It was known for its rough edges. Nothing too harrowing, but muggings and the occasional more serious crime weren't unheard of. Glancing in the rearview mirror, he sized up his passenger. She seemed too slight to be heading there alone at this hour. Concerned, he decided to make small talk to gauge her situation. "Heading toward Iron Mill District, huh? You meeting up with friends or family there?" As soon as the words left his mouth, he cringed internally. The question sounded far too probing, almost as if he were a kidnapper or a serial killer trying to determine if her disappearance would be quickly noticed. He winced at the thought, realizing how unsettling his attempt at casual conversation must have sounded. She shifted slightly, her gaze still glued to the phone screen.
"No,"
she replied curtly, offering nothing more. Aaron's frustration ticked up a notch at her brevity, but he pressed on, trying a different track. "Ever been there before? I haven't passed through in ages. Used to be a great diner there back in the 80s. Best bacon around. Shame it closed down." He let nostalgia tint his voice, hoping to spark some warmth in the conversation. Emma finally turned off her phone, plunging her section of the car into darkness.
"Yes, I've been there before,"
she answered, her tone tinged with annoyance.
"And you seem like someone who'd reminisce about food."
Stung by her remark, Aaron felt his grip tighten on the steering wheel, his stomach pressing uncomfortably against it. "What's your plan for tonight? It's quite late, and that area can be risky, especially alone," he said, noting it was nearly midnight.
"What, is it getting too late for you, old man?"
Emma retorted sharply. "All right, what's your problem? Didn't anyone teach you any manners?" Aaron's patience frayed. Emma leaned her head against her hand, staring out at the rain streaking down the window.
"You wanted to talk. I was fine keeping to myself,"
she said flatly, her detachment piercing. Aaron felt the sting of her disrespect deeply. He opened his mouth to retort, but paused, as she continued.
"What's your deal anyway? I get that this is a job, but shouldn't you, have a retirement plan or something by now?"
Struggling to formulate a response, Aaron drove on, the silence in the car weighing as heavily as the rain pelting down outside. He tore one hand from the steering wheel to flick on the radio, catching the familiar voice of the host as his show resumed. Behind him, Emma had concluded the conversation ended and pulled out her phone again, its light casting a glow against her withdrawn figure. Welcome back, everyone, to Riverwick Uncovered. The host's voice filled the car. Earlier, we discussed the mysterious disappearance of a family from the east side and a horrific accident on Talon's Crossing. Now, we move on to the main story. The Riverwick Reaper.
I love this show. Hey, can you turn that up?
Emma suddenly perked up, showing the first sign of interest since getting into the car. Aaron grudgingly adjusted the volume, still irked by her earlier comments. The host's voice deepened with gravity. We've just learned that our enigmatic killer in Riverwick has claimed 2 more victims, bringing the count to double digits. Victims 10 and 11 were discovered half-eaten by some kind of animal just days ago in a dumpster behind the old Silverwood Galleria. And those of you who follow the show know my theory about that eerie mall. Emma chuckled softly, her attention briefly shifting from her phone to listen. As the rain continued its relentless assault on the windshield, Aaron's thoughts drifted. He reminisced about the days of his youth, when respect was given freely and conversations weren't mediated through screens. People engaged with each other, shared stories face to face, not through the impersonal taps on a phone. The world had changed, and not entirely for the better in his eyes. The news of escalating violence, the coldness of interactions, the disrespect from the younger generation, it all painted a grim picture of the present compared to the past he cherished. In his mind, his era was clearly superior, marked by a sense of community and mutual respect, now seemingly lost in today's digital whirlwind. As the host delved deeper into the chilling details of the Riverwick Reaper, Aaron listened with growing discomfort. All the victims were men. So fellas, just be on the lookout, because it seems that there's someone out there targeting you. Don't become the victim, the host warned. One eyewitness reported seeing a silver sedan fleeing the scene, with an older, heavy-set man behind the wheel. Could this person be our Reaper? Aaron abruptly turned off the radio, preferring the rhythmic patter of rain to the grim theories spouted on air. A car zoomed past, catching Aaron's eye in the rear view mirror. "Goddamn maniacs on the road," he muttered. He noticed Emma meeting his gaze in the reflection, an uneasy shift in her posture. They sat in strained silence until Aaron attempted to lighten the mood. "What? Do I have crumbs in my beard again?" he joked, brushing at his face. Emma shifted again, her discomfort palpable.
"It's nothing,"
she murmured, returning her attention to the phone.
"Just the show,"
she added softly. "Got ya feeling uneasy? Huh?" Aaron offered a reassuring smile. "I get that. People can do some really messed up things. But luckily, those kind of things don't usually happen to smart people." He kept alternating glances between the road and Emma in the mirror. "I mean, you checking the license plate before getting in? That's a smart move." He continued, his smile fading slightly. Smart people usually avoid trouble. Usually. Aaron's brow furrowed as he delved into a memory that clearly still irked him. There was this one guy I drove around briefly, kept telling me how smart he was. He said, his tone dripping with sarcasm as he rolled his eyes. Total smartass, really. Some young millennial or maybe Gen Z kept going on about his Tic-Tac videos. Look how many views I got, he'd say, shoving his phone in my face while I was trying to drive. Aaron scoffed, his voice thick with disdain. Worst part? His videos were just these stupid pranks. He bragged about making a fortune by fooling people, doing nothing worthwhile. Can you believe that? He shook his head in frustration. I remember a time when you had to work a real job to make a living. You know, actually contribute something valuable. These days, it seems you just have to pull pranks or complain about how tough your life is and people throw money at you. And if you don't make enough, somehow it's my fault for not giving you more. As if I haven't already given enough through my years of hard work. So I just want to know, how many goddamn drops of blood do I have to keep giving you ungrateful little turds before I can finally enjoy my life? Aaron glanced at the rearview mirror and noticed Emma's expression. She seemed a bit taken aback by his intensity. Realizing he had just let his frustration get the better of him, he tried to backtrack. Anyway, I guess I lost my point there. Just then, a loud bang from the back of the car cut through their conversation, pulling Emma's attention sharply.
What was that?
She asked, her voice tense. What was what? Aaron responded, trying to hear over the din of the storm outside. Another thud resonated from the back of the car.
That. It sounded like someone's banging on the car or something.
Emma exclaimed, her voice laced with apprehension. Probably just the rain. Aaron dismissed casually, though his tone suggested he wasn't entirely convinced. You want the radio on again? Without waiting for an answer, he turned it up, hoping to drown out any further unsettling noises. Or questions. Amid the cacophony of the storm and the blaring car stereo, Emma struggled to make sense of the sounds. Between the music breaks, she could distinctly hear the thuds from behind her, seeming to emanate from the trunk.
Pull over,
Emma screamed over the noise. Can't hear ya! What was that? Aaron shouted back, cupping his ear.
Pull over, you crazy old geriatric motherfucker!
Emma was cut off as Aaron swerved abruptly to the side of the road, causing her to tumble across the back seat. She hadn't buckled up, and the sudden stop sent her rolling. Aaron killed the radio immediately, and now the distinct sounds of screams could be heard from the back of the car, barely audible beneath the relentless rain. God damn it! Aaron cursed, grabbing something from the seat next to him. He yanked the keys from the ignition, locked the doors, and slammed it as he stepped out. Confused and shaken by the sudden halt, Emma watched as Aaron walked to the trunk and opened it. She frantically tried to unlock her door, but found it child-locked. Leaning over the front seat to try the driver's side, she discovered the unlock button had been removed, leaving only frayed wires in a small hole. Panic set in as she checked her phone, finding no service. It dawned on her that they weren't on the correct route to her destination. The realization hit hard. This man was taking her somewhere remote, and someone was desperately crying for help in his trunk. As the trunk popped open, a half-naked young man stumbled out, lashing out at Aaron in the pouring rain. Despite his smaller size, Aaron dodged with surprising agility for his age and countered with a casual swipe, knocking the young man to the ground. "Ain't feeling so smart now, huh?" Aaron's taunt was muffled by the storm. The young man scrambled up, wielding a tire iron that he swung at Aaron, striking his arm. Aaron yelled in pain, then raised his other arm swiftly. A gunshot cracked through the air, and the young man collapsed to the wet asphalt. Emma watched in horror, trapped and helpless as the scene unfolded outside in the storm. Emma watched in frozen horror as Aaron, with chilling nonchalance, dragged the young man's lifeless body to the roadside and dumped it into a ditch. He briskly wiped his hands on his trousers, grimacing as he clutched his arm that had been struck. Leaving the trunk gaping open, he strode back to the car. When he reached Emma's door, he aimed his pistol at her through the window, his gesture commanding her to move back. With a flick of his wrist, he unlocked the door, barking, "Get out, slowly." Terrified, Emma obeyed, inching her way across the seats, her every move trembling. "I'm gonna have to have you ride in the trunk the rest of the way, Emma, okay?" he stated flatly. Emma nodded, shivering as the cold rain soaked through her clothes. "Whoa now! Are you afraid?" Aaron taunted. Emma gave another feeble nod. "Well, come now. Surely your parents told you never to get in a car with a stranger, right? I mean, they could turn out to be a serial killer." He chuckled darkly, his laugh echoing ominously against the patter of the rain. The streaks of mascara mixed with the rain. Emma managed to respond,
Actually, they did.
"Well, clearly you didn't listen to them," Aaron scoffed, motioning with his gun for her to climb into the trunk.
Normally, I'm not scared of that.
Emma said, her voice betraying a mix of fear and defiance. She forced a nervous chuckle, then suddenly lunged at Aaron, slashing at his wrist with a concealed knife. The blade cut deep, severing tendons with a horrific precision that made him drop the gun in agony.
After all, what are the odds of two serial killers winding up in the same car?
She said, her voice cold as steel. Aaron clenched his bleeding wrist, eyes wide with shock, as he stared at Emma.
So, I take it you were the creepy old man tailing me at the mall when I disposed of those two nuisances,
she said, her grin widening.
Seems like you have a penchant for targeting the young. I share similar taste. Specifically, young men. Though, you're quite outside my preferred age bracket. The older ones lack a certain vigor. They're not as delightful. But perhaps you'll be an exception.
she teased with a chilling laugh. With a casual flick, Emma dropped her knife and reached up to pull back her hood. She then slowly peeled off her mask, revealing a grotesquely wide mouth lined with rows of razor-sharp teeth. Her jaw stretched unnaturally, like a shark's. Aaron screamed in terror as she lunged at him, her attack swift and brutal. After she had finished her ghastly meal, Emma used Aaron's jacket to clean her blood-stained face. The remains of Aaron, his face and upper body gruesomely mangled, lay discarded beside her. She calmly collected his keys, unlocked his sedan, and slid into the driver's seat, tossing her knife and the phone she had taken from the real Emma onto the passenger seat. Turning on the car radio, she caught the tail end of the local broadcast. So, folks, with all the strange things that happen in Riverwick, just remember to stay inside after dark. Ignore those bumps in the night, and whatever you do, don't become an extra in the horror movie that is our quaint little town. Until next time, everyone, sleep well and turn off that light. You never know what monsters might be scouting for one in the night. You have been listening to a presentation of Point of Insanity Game Studio. Visit us on the web at www.poigamestudio.com. Follow me on most social media sites at POI Game Studio, and check out my music channel on YouTube at Al Seeger Music.